Governor Hogan called this the Year of the Veteran, and since we are the TV station for our veterans, we thought it would be a great time to find out from the governor how the state's salute to our military went in 2019.
It was just such a great thing, and I'm so proud of the 380,000 veterans that we have in the state of Maryland and their families. And I just thought it was a good idea to finally honor them in the whole year.
Nothing symbolizes the success of the Year of the Vet than this, an historic turnout to lay wreaths at the stones of our soldiers. At Garrison Forest, they covered 17,000 graves. That's up from 17 last year.
I think people in their hearts, they really do appreciate the service and the sacrifice of these veterans. And when they find out, when they watch your show and they hear us talking, and when they learn about those 17 wreaths, and then they're like, next year I'm going to do that, because they want to find a way to express their appreciation.
Attempting to cut taxes for veterans and make red tape a little easier for them. Ready. Day one, he did this.
Ready, aim, fire.
The very first piece of legislation I signed was the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Act, because a lot of these guys, including our Veterans Secretary, my brother-in-law, and a bunch of guys that weren't really welcomed when they came home, and it may not sound important to some folks, but it meant so much to these guys.
In a room off the coast of his office, the governor told me at the stroke of midnight, 361 nights ago, 2019 became personal.
You know, my wife was born in South Korea, and every time she meets one of these older veterans who fought in the Korean War, she thanks every one of them and says, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your sacrifices. I mean, that chokes me up every time I hear it.
So from wreath laying to parades to salutes, the national anthems and the pledges to the flag, the one moment that got to him was a recent visit by this hero to Annapolis.
We had this 100-year-old veteran that showed up, but multiple times. I mean, I had a gentleman come up and tell me about landing on the beaches of Iwo Jima and seeing his buddies on either side of him shot. I mean, just to be standing in the presence of a guy like that.
And as hard as we try to convince the legislature to make laws to slow down the calendar, they fail year after year. But you know, this year was a tremendous success with the Year of the Veteran. And here's the secret between you and the Gov.
You know, 2020 in Maryland is going to be the Year of the Woman, to recognize 100 years since the women's suffrage and earning the right to vote, fighting for the right to vote and winning it. But 2019, the Year of the Veteran, is coming to a close. But as far as I'm concerned, we're going to honor the veterans every single year.